Here we are, we've got this up and coming week of Red Zone and a fun work set now. Team dependent is really a good driver for us to work a little harder than maybe we would in our own comfort. But getting out of our comfort zones as our teammates are pushing us on, and we're trying to relieve them of their discomfort as well. Our first pattern we're gonna use is a kissing serpents. So they're gonna be working the kissing serpents. Scott's showing us in this pattern. And nice posture is really, really important, right? Wider stance. Raquel's got her feet set nice and wide, just a good stable base where she's able to stay upright. A lot of rear delt concepts. And, we see the pattern of the rope should kind of look like these two serpents or these two snakes coming together and kissing each other. And as those start to tire out, we can add in a jacks variation. Keep in mind with the jacks, we're just flipping the ropes up here and work that jack variation. Just should be a nice comfortable, and we can work that for as long as we'd like to, and switch back and forth as we need to. With this particular week here, we're gonna be here pretty quick. The first one, I'm just here as long as it takes my partner to do 100-meter row, right? And that can be pretty quick. But remember, when that partner starts working their way up, it's a ladder. Every round, every rotation, it's a little quicker switch. So if my partner's on the rower and doing a 1,000-meter row, it could be a long time that we're here on these ropes. We could be here at these ropes for 3+ minutes. So we want to have these options to alternate and work between, exhausting those as far as we can. Everyone's going to be uncomfortable, but nobody stops. All right, here we are. This is our team dependent station. Everyone is depending on this station. We're going to show it simultaneously here, but remember the idea of this particular work set is a ladder type of exertion. It's gonna start out pretty easy. Those rotations are gonna be very, very quick, and they're gonna get tough very, very quick just as well. So we'll show the row variation simultaneous with the rubber band or the resistance band alternate. And in either case, it's either gonna count up 100 meters at a time or 10 rows at a time. Strategy-wise, kind of figure out who's gonna be where for each player, and kind of knowing and doing a little bit of math. I might give everybody a couple minutes to strategize. Knowing that player 2 is gonna go the farthest distance, right? So figure out, who's going 1,800 meters, but also who's gonna be doing some of those other ones a little quicker, right? Saving some of those people for that 800, 900, 1,000-meter row, so everybody's not getting stuck there at their station for 5 minutes at a time, right? We'd like to keep those really, less than that 4-minute mark, closer to that 3-minute mark as possible. So we're gonna get them going, and they're just gonna get out of here as quick as possible. It's 100 meters on the row machine, and it's 10 pulls on the row. On the row, a couple things we'll look for is posture up. I want a little bit of pause, band the chest, eyes on anchor. Eyes on anchor, and pause and hold, pause and hold. Scott's got to stay pretty low on this, knowing that he's got a solid resistance. So ideally, we're kind of figuring out that pause and hold, release, pause and hold, release. So these guys are close to finishing at the same time. Raquel hit her 100 meters, she's out of here, right? She's gonna unstrap. She's gonna spend more time getting in here for the first couple rounds than it is gonna take to actually do the 100 meters. 100 meters, less than a minute, about 30, 40 seconds, switch. And you betcha those times could very well double as we add on from one to the next, right? Same thing here. Next round would be 20 rows. Next round, 30 rows, and so forth. When we get to those tougher rounds, I've got some extra bands here because you can imagine 30, 40, 50, 60, 80, 90, or 70, 80, 90, 100 rows is gonna be very difficult. But again, it's not about just hammering those as quick as we can. We've got to get into a little more of that endurance mode. That's where the posture that we talked about earlier on is gonna really be helpful, right? So they do wanna finish them quickly, but finish them with integrity. Have fun, team. Team is dependent on you. All right, back now for our ride station, and we've set it up head-to-head with our row station. Just knowing that everything's dependent on this row, right? Where it's 100 meters added each rotation, and really looking to get that bike to match. So let's get them going here. Scott's gonna be chasing now for 200 meters, and Raquel is gonna be matching his pace. When we've got those my zones up, it's gonna be best to just take a look at Scott's my zone and say, Raquel, match that my zone. She could match that my zone by paddling quicker on her legs. She could match that my zone by going a little faster, more gear into those as well, right? So they're talking to each other and they're trying to work just as hard. Sometimes those eyebrows communicate just as much. Scott's going for 200 meters and they're coaching each other through it. They're talking each other through it. And they're gonna be working just as hard, right? Nobody works less than the other. And as soon as Scott's done with his 200, we're gonna rotate again. So this one is really just kind of keeping an eye on their exertion. 200, quick, easy switch. It gets a little tougher as we go, and want to make sure that these two stations are really side by side on those my zone exertions, pushing up into those yellows and healthy red zones. All right, here we are. This is our final station for today, and it's simple, but it's not easy. We're gonna let them start out here. It's gonna be a jog down, nice healthy jog. And as soon as they hit their turn point, they're geared up and they're ready to go. They're gonna sprint back to their start point as fast as they can. Want to get those arms going, want to get those legs going, decelerate, jog back. A good healthy jog is kind of a scale of 1 to 10, a good 6 or 7, right? A little time to recover, and on that sprint, we can really start to hear that, right? You want to hear those feet accelerating, want to hear that breath, want to hear that turn and burn. Catch the breath, reload. It's going to be pretty easy. First couple times, maybe it's down and back twice. As we get to those longer rounds, they're going to be here. So the jog, I don't care about, but I want that sprinting. They should never slow down, no matter how far their rower is going, right? Jog slower if you need to. Catch that breath, recover, reload, and that sprint is always going to be serious. It's always going to be accelerating. You might be able to dial in on their sprint time and say, you got 3 seconds, 2, 1, 0, there, right? Want to have them sprinting, pushing towards that. Again, this is going to be one of those peak heart rates here. Maybe the highest heart rate of the day, whereas it may be sustained elsewhere. They'll see some higher peaks at this location here. Enjoy, team.